In recent years, we've seen an increase in the sighting of pollution in the Salt Lake Valley. We just recently had a storm and it cleared away the pollution. Here we are again in the Salt Lake Valley. The storm has cleared out and this is what a regular day looks like in the winter.
I am a communication professor at the University of Utah in the Department of Communication, and we study communication from many, many angles. My particular areas of teaching and research are communication about science, about health, and about the environment. 20 years ago, there were bad wintertime inversions, but that was kind of it. And there were no daily reporting of red, yellow, green, etc., etc. And since then, I have really noticed an increase in pollution year-round.
Generally speaking, year-round. The major sources are automobiles, wood burning, and industry. And not all of the kinds of pollution that come from those three different sources are equally threatening to public health. So in our view, we ought to look at those sources of pollution that have the highest degree of toxicity attached to them. And so that's one of the reasons why we put a lot of emphasis on curtailing wood burning and curtailing industry pollution, because those seem to be more toxic actually than, say, automobile tailpipe pollution.
Gosh, it was probably 10 years ago or so. I found myself with severe respiratory problems, and I'd get in front of my class to teach, and I couldn't.
Fairly easily understand that that air pollution affects the lungs and the respiratory system and can provoke lung diseases of many types, asthma in particular. But the medical literature has painted a very clear picture in the last decade that the health consequences are much more than that. Air pollution affects virtually every single organ in the body, and that means it can provoke heart disease. In addition to lung disease, it can provoke a number of brain diseases, including all the neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, may even play a role in multiple sclerosis. It can affect brain function, including a person's cognitive abilities and behavioral, and can cause or provoke behavioral dysfunction.
I have some suspicions that it's contributed to some of my daughter's health problems, but I don't know for sure.
Well, during the winter when the inversion gets really bad and it lasts for a few months, in the past few years I've had to get an inhaler because I have such a hard time breathing. So my doctor has to prescribe me an inhaler, and that's really the only option besides going somewhere else because the air is so bad.
We think it's a good investment to spend what you can afford and try and achieve basically filtered indoor air so that you're not breathing as much of the particulate matter that's out in the atmosphere. Schools in particular should, because as we talked about a few minutes ago, the younger a person is, the more of the overall health consequences there are. Pollution inside the bus itself can be 4 or 5 times greater than the pollution outside of the bus. So trying to clean up school buses is one of the first things that we should do.
There's a few things that I think teens can do to help curb the pollution problem that we have. I think carpooling is a big thing because right now I know a lot of kids who drive only themselves or maybe one other person to school, but some bigger carpools can reduce the number of cars on the road. Also public transportation or even walking for kids who live close to school. I'm a member of the environmental club and we help recycle the school and bring awareness to students about environmental concerns, especially pollution. And I think those are some of the biggest ways that we can help as the young people.